Okay, so now we're done 1 through 10, and we're going to move on to the back side. On these ones, again, you're going to write down your initial value, and these ones are geometric, so it has a common ratio, and then the formula. The first one on this one's 1, common ratio is 3, because it's times by 3 every time, and the formula, if you look at the top of the front there, a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1 power. So we're going to write that down, except replace a sub 1 and r with what the numbers are, n minus 1 power. So that's going to be the formula for that one. A sub 1's there, r, or your common ratio is right there. On 12, we have initial value of 12, and it has a common ratio of 1/2, because you're dividing by 2 every time. And so my formula is going to look like this. A sub n equals initial value times my common ratio to the n minus 1 power. And that's going to be it for that one. The initial value on this one's 3, and it's looking like it's dividing by -3 every time because it's switching the signs. And so it's going to be a common ratio of -1/3. You use those two pieces to write your formula. 9 goes in front. Our common ratio has the exponent, and so it's going to look like that. And we're going to jump over to number 14, where we use our formula to get a sub 4 and a sub 12. So a sub 4 is going to be equal to 9 times -1/3 to the 4 minus 1 power. Now let me rewrite that. 4 minus 1 power. 4 minus 1 is 3. -1/3 to the -1/3 to the third power is going to be -1/27. And then you times that by 9. You're going to get -9/27, which is the same thing as -1/3. And we now need to get a sub 12, or the 12th number in the sequence. So you got to do 9 times -1/3 to the 12 minus 1 power. -1/3 to the 11th power, hold on, is going to be that's going to be -1 over a fairly large number, 177,147. And when you times that, you got 9 over that, 9 over -177,147. And if you reduce it a little bit, you're going to get -1 over 19,683. Okay, so there's that one. Your calculator, if you were to put that in a calculator, you'd get a decimal that's pretty long and kind of scary looking, but that's how it is. On these last ones, there's story problems. You get basically get the sequence from the story, identify its type, and write the formula that goes with it, right? So a student comes to school with the flu, so our initial value, this one's looking like 1, infects 3 other students within an hour before going home. Each newly infected passes the virus to 3 new students in the next hour. Pattern continues until all students at school are infected with the virus. So we start out with 1, and the r, you notice it's multiplying every time, is going to be 3, because it's times it by 3 every time. So it's going to be geometric, and the formula for that is going to be a sub n equals 1 times 3 to the n minus 1 power. Number 16, first round tennis starts with 128 players, so it's going to be your a sub 1, 128. Each round, half the players are lost and are eliminated from the tournament, so we have a common ratio here of 1/2, because you're getting half of the previous amount each time. Therefore, in round 2, there were 64 players, in round 3, 32 players, and so on. So this one's a geometric one as well, because it's got that halving property. And the formula is going to be the same basic shell there, 128 initial value times your common ratio to the n minus 1 power. It looks like that. Let's get 17's on this next one. So Paul has $680 in his savings account, makes a deposit after he receives each paycheck. After 1 month, he has $758 in the account. Next month, it's $836, and the third month, $914. So really, our sequence is that number, that number, that number, that number, and if you notice, he's adding each time. So this one's going to be an arithmetic sequence. And if he's adding the same, if he's adding the same amount, so let's figure it out real quick. To figure it out, you kind of just get the difference between each of the numbers there. So it's the difference from 680 to 758 is $78. And from 758 to 836, is also 78, and from 836 to 914 is also 78. So this is going to be our common difference, and the initial value is 680. So the formula is going to be a sub n equals initial value 680 plus 78 times n minus 1. And that's going to be the formula for that. And our last one, looks like our initial value is right there. So a sub 1 is going to be 100. And it's looking like it's adding 100 each time. So it's going to be an arithmetic with a d of 100. So the formula is going to be a sub n equals 100 plus 100 times n minus 1. And that's all of them.